The final thing for the 49ers on the to-do list or possibility list with the open negotiating period and then heading into the start of the new league year on Wednesday, that has been resolved. Joey Bosa not going to be reuniting with his brother with the 49ers. I guess you could say after the report on Tuesday night where he was apparently weighing offers between the Miami Dolphins, his hometown team, the team for which his father played. The Bosa family lives in Fort Lauderdale. So it was either the Miami Dolphins or joining his brother with the San Francisco 49ers. Well, it turns out business and winning takes precedence over sentimentality. How else to look at it? No hometown discount for the Dolphins, no family discount for the 49ers. Joey Bosa goes to the Buffalo Bills on a reported 1 year $12.6 million contract. And that does not include some incentives that he could possibly earn. So, um, hey, if you're going to look at taking the best deal, if you're going to look at going to the place that gives him the best chance of winning a Super Bowl, I don't think anybody can argue that the Buffalo Bills would be that spot. The only question I would have when it comes to Joey Bosa would be with his history of injuries, including the past 3 seasons where he's been on the sideline, it seems like a lot more than he's been on the playing field. What will it do to play on artificial turf of Buffalo rather than the natural grass surface in Miami or San Francisco? And by San Francisco, I mean Santa Clara, of course. So Joey Bosa not going to be joining brother Nick with the 49ers. I would consider that a bit of a surprise. I mean, clearly, when the Chargers released him a week ago, 49ers were interested. Very easy to connect the dots, but Bosa goes to the Bills. And now the 49ers, I wouldn't say, I mean, I guess you could say they're left scrambling, but, there are defensive linemen out there that they will pick up unquestionably in free agent signing period. But, on this day, I guess add Joey Bosa to the list of 49er defensive linemen who got away or, uh, you know, um, obviously he didn't get away from them, but you know what I'm saying. Leonard Floyd released, um, Malik Collins going to be released, Javon Hargrave released. The 49ers did re-sign Kevin Givens on a 1 year deal. And so the list of 49ers who are departing is a very long list. And I just mentioned some of them: Floyd, Juszczyk, Greenlaw, Charvarius Ward, Banks, Hufanga, Jalen Moore, Joshua Dobbs, Elijah Mitchell, and then the ones we've known about, obviously, Deebo Samuel going to Washington in a trade, Javon Hargrave released, and John Feliciano, who retired. And a lot of these guys did not play a whole lot last season. When you think about the games that Greenlaw missed, the games that Ward missed, Banks missed a lot of games late in the season. Hufanga started the season injured on the PUP list. Jalen Moore wasn't a starter until just a few games kind of late in the season, taking over for Trent Williams. Elijah Mitchell didn't play at all. Deebo Samuel didn't have a great season. So I think what it shows, and let's just kind of draw the line here through Joey Bosa and Dre Greenlaw. I think the 49ers were so scarred from what they experienced last year with some big name guys getting injured that they didn't want to do the leap of faith and present big money contracts to Joey Bosa and to Dre Greenlaw, two guys who have battled injuries. So clearly, kind of an organizational decision. They were consistent with that. Was it the right answer or the wrong answer? That's the thing about NFL free agency. We won't know until we know. Okay. So talked a lot about the guys that aren't coming. One guy who is coming, and it's exactly the kind of player that you would expect the 49ers to go get. Demarcus Robinson. He's been a super durable player, wide receiver, 6 years in Kansas City, a year in Baltimore, and the last two with the Rams. So when I was looking at the possible free agent pickups the 49ers could have, I looked at Robert Woods, but Demarcus Robinson kind of in that same vein. He's played with Sean McVay with the Rams, so he's familiar with the system, the terminology. And I mean, to my count, I think he's only missed one game in 9 years. Started all 17 games last season, played 82% of the Rams' offensive snaps. He had 31 catches for 505 yards and seven touchdowns. And so, quite clearly, where he fits into the 49ers, he's not a special teams player, by the way, where he fits into the 49ers is just giving them a potential starter for maybe a short period of time, even though he, like I said, he started all 17 games with the Rams last year. The Rams were a playoff team, quite obviously. And so, if whatever Brandon Ayuk's situation is, whenever he's available, this is an insurance policy. This is for depth. This is for a potential starter. So right now, the healthy wide receivers the 49ers have going into the 2025 season, Juwan Jennings, Ricky Pearsall, Demarcus Robinson, and then potentially Jacob Cowing if he can take a step, maybe be a slot receiver and a deep threat for the 49ers. So right now, five free agents have agreed to sign with the 49ers. Demarcus Robinson's deal is 2 years, 9.5 million, 6 million of that is fully guaranteed. So Demarcus Robinson feels a need for the 49ers before or during free agency. We'll see if they add somebody else to the mix at wide receiver. Then, of course, they have the draft picks, and I'll talk a little bit more about the draft picks here in a bit. The other guys that the 49ers have signed, or I should say agreed to terms, two safeties, Jason Pinnock from the New York Giants, and he's starter capable. He started a lot of games for the New York Giants. And so it's not a fait accompli that Malik Mustafa and maybe more to the point, Jair Brown will be starting next season. So those guys are going to have to earn it. There's going to be competition, but Jason Pinnock takes over or is coming to the 49ers. And I would assume he would believe that he's coming here to be a starter, and that's where he is intent on earning that starting job. The other safety, they added Richie Grant, a unrestricted free agent from Atlanta, more of a special teams guy. We've also talked about Luke Farrell, the tight end from Jacksonville. He's kind of a guy where with Kyle Juszczyk being released, 49ers officially announced that on Wednesday. Luke Farrell comes in as the number two tight end. Probably see a lot of two tight end personnel groupings with the 49ers as they shift away, more than likely, from a two-back set. And then the other one, another Luke. 49ers come to an agreement with linebacker Luke Gifford from Tennessee. He is going to be a special teams guy as well. So we talked about the draft. The NFL, did I mention Kevin Givens coming back on a one-year deal? Jordan Mason, second-round tender as a restricted free agent. Of course, the 49ers also add another running back, Patrick Taylor, who was signed to a one-year deal as a UFA. Looking at the 49ers unrestricted free agents, the only ones, let's see here. There's a little bit of talk. I think it was Josina Anderson mentioned Jameis Winston as a possibility for the backup quarterback. Joshua Dobbs is already gone. Brandon Allen still floating out there. But really, no one pops off the list. Curtis Robinson will be back for the 49ers. The Walter Payton Man of the Year award winner. Okay, now the NFL they finalize the draft order for this year's 2025 NFL draft. 49ers have 11 draft picks, one in the first round, one in the second, two in the third, including a compensatory pick at 36 in that round, two in the fourth, including a compensatory pick at 36 in that round, one in the fifth, coming over from Washington in the Deebo Samuel trade, one in the sixth, and then three picks in the seventh. And all those picks in each round they have, except for the fifth round, they had that taken away due to an administrative error. So they forfeited a fifth round pick, but they have the 11th pick in each round except for the fifth round. I think I said fourth round, the fifth round. And then the compensatory picks in the seventh round, they have the 33rd pick and the 36th pick, 249 and 252 overall. So when you count this up, the 49ers have 4 picks in the top 100, and they have 8 picks in the top 150. So that gives them an opportunity to do some damage, get some players. And so the compensatory picks come from one special compensatory for losing D'Amico Ryans and Rand Carthon, minority coaches and executives they developed into head coaching and GM roles. And then the other ones were for the net losses in free agency from last year's free agency period. So looking ahead to 2026, 49ers figure to get a lot of compensatory picks or good compensatory picks in the 2026 draft. So that's the quick rundown of the draft. Again, the big story of the day. I think everybody kind of figured that the 49ers had a really good shot to sign Joey Bosa, but the Buffalo Bills come in with an offer that was more, I would assume more than what the 49ers offered, but maybe more to the point, it checks the box for Bosa. The money was right for him in comparison to what other teams were offering, but also the chance to win was right going to the Buffalo Bills. So that's the big roundup here from the open negotiating period. And I believe it's 1 p.m. on Thursday. Let me just double check that time. Um, Tomorrow on Wednesday will be the start of the new league year. This is when the trade will become official, sending Deebo Samuel to Washington. It's when the players can start signing these contracts as well. And so, yeah, 1 p.m. Pacific time is when the new league year opens, and the 49ers, they have some cap space. They're not like pushed up against the cap like some of the teams. They have some cap space. And so I don't think they're finished in free agency. I wouldn't expect them to go out and get a big name guy. I mean, the big name guy out there was Joey Bosa. And I guess the question I would ask you would be if you're upset about this, if his name weren't Bosa, would you be upset if he still had the same track record? Um, I don't know. I mean, I think in the perfect world for the 49ers. They get Joey Bosa. They have him as a rotational player, pass rush specialist, playing 20, 25 snaps a game early in the season. And then as he builds up, and they would need to ride him later in the year. If the 49ers are in playoff contention, they need to win games late in December. I think that would have been his role. So we'll see what the Buffalo Bills have in mind. But that's a story of the day that Joey Bosa signs with the Buffalo Bills, and the Bosa family reunion will not be taking place at Levi Stadium. So thanks again for watching this video. Leave a comment and a like if you so desire. And that is it for now.